Welcome back to Market Headline. Now to the energy sector inside the country. There are 34 power plant projects that are hampered according to Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources. Even 12 of these power plants projects are stopped. Director General of Electricity at the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources, Rida Mulyana, explained that until May 2021, as many as 34 power plant projects are having problem. Only 7 projects are successful, 15 projects to be continued, and 12 projects must be terminated. The constructions of those 12 power plants stopped because there is no development progress at all. Most of the stalled projects are steam power plants with a capacity of 117 megawatts spread from Sumatra to Papua.
Kalau ditanya alasannya kenapa, ya karena nggak jalan-jalan, nggak jadi-jadi alasannya. Artinya realisasi di lapangannya itu dengan berbagai alasan, mungkin kontraktornya membeli atau apa, itu ya terpaksa diterminasi karena kita nggak bisa nunggu lagi untuk melayani masyarakat di sana. Sehingga kemudian ini untuk yang diterminasi ini ya harus diganti dengan kemudian dengan proyek lain yang non pembangkit, yaitu.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources noted that 34 power plant projects are constrained. It means that several power plant projects cannot be continued due to crucial reasons. But power plant project is not only a usual project. It is a mega project that requires trillions rupiah, and therefore the stall project becomes spotlight these days. And let's examine it more through these following infographics. The first graphic is about troubled power plant projects that is spread across Indonesia from Sumatra to Papua. We see 7 are in the status of operating and 15 can be continued, while this is sadly 12 projects are terminated by the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources because there is no development at all. And the findings of this case began with the 2016 Indonesia's National Government Internal Auditor Report, where the contract and the contractor for the construction of these power plants had problems. But sadly, both contract and contractor were not responsible for the continuity of the project, so the project was stopped and abandoned. People usually get associated with PLN or state electricity company when it comes to electricity contractor. But however, not only PLN that is in charge, but private companies involved too. To see the proportions, let's see the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see the institutions involved in troubled power plant projects. So not only PLN as a state electricity company, but also private companies has the project as well. See through the graphic, the units that PLN have is 32 units of power plant projects that are hampered nowadays. But when it turns out to the private companies, it only has 2 units, but with a capacity of 15 megawatts. When we talk about capacity, PLN has covered around 612 megawatt capacity, and the percentage is 97.6%, while the rest belong to private companies by 2.4%. And one of the steam power plant project that is discontinued belonging to the private company is Tambilahan steam power plant in Sumatra. Although the construction has been stopped, power plant project will be replaced with another project such as the constructions of transmissions and substations. But regarding the sanctions itself and losses and legal issues due to the project terminations, the ministry remains silent about that. There is no precise measurement until further notice. And of all the troubled power plants, most of them are steam power plants. And indeed, Indonesia uses steam power plants most rather than other power plants. Therefore, the development of steam power plants are a lot. Let's see the proportions in the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see the proportions of the types of troubled power plant projects. We can see that for the steam power plant project dominates by 91%, while the rest for micro hydro power plant project reaching 9% only. So there are currently 31 troubled power plant projects unit that is based on steam power plant, but only 3 units that are micro hydro power plants. And steam power plants are driven by coal, and steam power plants are still Indonesia's mainstay in meeting energy needs. This is because coal is the cheapest energy source in this country, whereas the price of electricity from new and renewable energy is currently unable to compete with the price of electricity from coal-based power plants. And steam power plant can still be relied on to support the base load because it is stable, not limited to the certain periods or conditions such as weather, nature, and others. Meanwhile, according to Indonesian Private Electric Manufacturers Associations, eco-friendly power plants still have a number of limitations. For example, from wind and solar power, which depend on certain conditions. And to use renewable energy, the economies of scale still need to be improved, and not all points in Indonesia are ideal for building certain eco-friendly power plants. And therefore, the steam power plant projects are massive in Indonesia, but sadly, several projects go problematic. Ministry of Energy and Mineral Resources also stated that the troubled projects are spread across Indonesia. So let's see it in the next graphic. Here it is. We can see the detail of locations of troubled power plant projects in Indonesia. It's spread from Sumatra, Kalimantan, Sulawesi, Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, and Papua. And we can see Nusa Tenggara have 5 units of troubled power plant projects. Sulawesi has 9 units of troubled power plants projects. Maluku and Papua have 5 units of troubled power plants projects, and the rest Sumatra have 5 units troubled power plants projects, and the rest is Kalimantan by 10 units. And through the graphic, we can see that most troubled projects are in Kalimantan and Sulawesi. And combine it, then it will be almost 2/3. Member of the Energy Commissions of the House of Representatives, Mulyanto, urged the government to immediately resolve the troubled 34 Indonesian power plant projects. He asked that the government not to let this problem hang around and continue to be a homework for electricity development. And other than touching the economic damage, there is a humanitarian side that arises from the issue. According to the representatives, the 12 units or 117 megawatt power plants that will be terminated should be handed over to the law enforcement officials, as it is inappropriate for individuals who cause such huge state losses to be allowed to escape without fair legal process. And yes, viewers, back again. Power plant project is not only a usual project, it is trillions rupiah project that needs a special care, and therefore the project must be carried out an in-depth study to mitigate the risk of the failure and adapt to current electricity needs. Stay with us because market headlines will be right back after this quick break.